Everything is going extremely well.
And now, showtime.
Hey, there we go. Welcome to the show, everybody. Sorry, last week we did a little bit of an effort to show some support, and that involved us not going live today. So we got a shit ton of comments. I hope you are all enjoying things today. We did a lot of reaction videos. We've got more in the can. One from Jared Robinson and one from some like really loud, angry dude who is a complete fucking scammer. Jeremy Haynes. We're gonna have him on a reaction video very soon as well. So we're gonna dive right into it. If you have questions, ask them in the chat. I've got 2 weeks worth of comments to go through, so a ton of stuff. Also, we had a great case study video go live this week on how I scaled a brand 8x in 8 weeks by literally focusing on what matters to a business, which essentially rejects everything that every performance marketer and internet guru tells you you're supposed to do. So we'll get into all of that. And the trolls didn't seem to hate on that one. I don't know. Scott Rayleigh, where are you at, buddy? Constantinos, no comments. I think it's funny. Anyway, that being said, let's get into the new way to scale in 2026. And I'll say that I actually believe this has been the way to do it for a long time, but now we've got real dollars to donuts behind it, and I don't think there's any way to argue against it. Most brands fail at scaling, not because their ads are bad, but because they're optimizing for the wrong outcomes. So earlier this week, I did a case study on a fashion brand, and they looked great on paper, right? The ROAS went from 1.2 to a 3. When they hired an agency. Spend was efficient and the dashboards looked amazing. But behind the scenes, revenue dropped and profit dropped and spend collapsed because there was no money to spend anymore. So the ads looked healthy, but the business was dying. Now, this contradiction explains almost every meta scaling failure today. And once you understand why this happens, you'll never look at ROAS-led scaling the same way again, creative hit rate scaling the same way again, all of that absolute nonsense as anything that is worth your time and effort. So let's talk about the core shift. To scale ads, you have to stop thinking like an ads manager trying not to get fired and start thinking like an operator. Scaling is not about making ads look efficient. Scaling is about buying customer journeys that create future cash flow. You are not trying to sell products. You are trying to buy cash flow. If you don't understand who you're buying and what they become, every optimization you make is guesswork. Now, everything in this lesson is going to ladder up to one idea. You are not buying ads. You are investing in customer behavior. Okay. It is not, I don't give a shit about your ROAS. Tell me about your profits and future cash flow from it. So step number 1 is to stop guessing who's buying. Now, the first thing that I've done in this business, and I recommend you do, is don't worry about the creative. It's visibility. Visibility into data. You have to ask yourself the question that actually matters. Are your purchases coming from new customers or returning? And no, new audiences versus engaged versus existing won't tell you that at all. And the truth is, every time I've done this with a successful business that was agency-led, the outcomes were uncomfortable. Most winning ads were selling to people who had already bought or were likely to buy anyway. Now, that's not growth. That's attribution vanity. So from the moment on that we installed that, we used Ahrefs. From the moment we installed that, every performance was judged on new customer acquisition, not just sales volume. That single split reframed every decision we made. It was no longer about how much credit for the money could we take, but how much money could we make. That's a huge shift. The next thing we did is we changed the scorecard from ROAS to profit. Remember, ROAS is not profit in any way. It has nothing to do with money. Once we know who was buying, we had to change how we define success. ROAS tells you how the ads look. It does not tell you how much money you're making. It's how much credit for the sales can you take, not how many more sales you can make. We do that with a simple metric, GPT. That's gross profit per transaction. Now the question wasn't which ad has the best ratio. It was which ad creates the most real dollars, which ad gives us the highest volume of leverageable margin or profit to scale. And that flips your role. You stop hunting for winning ads or the ROAS and you start allocating capital towards profit creation. And that's the huge difference between managing ads and operating a business. And in the video I dropped earlier this week, I literally do just a side-by-side comparison, about 5 or 6 minutes of the video. There's a spot where I talk about this, and we do go over the metrics here, and I show some just real stats from the ad account, where you see GPT, profit per transaction, and then ROAS. And the ROAS number has nothing to do with how profitable each sale was. Sometimes the ROAS is 1.6 when we made $30. Sometimes it's 1.2 when we made $60 per sale. Sometimes it's 1.9 and we made 100. Sometimes it was a 1.2 or 1.1 and we made 50. There was no correlation. There were times where the ROAS was 1.6 on 4 different ads and the profit margin was between $20 and $100. The point is, the ratio between the cost to make a sale and the value of the sale is very different than the ratio, than the absolute value between the cost and the value. And I'll hammer this home with one other point. A 10x ROAS on a $10 CPA, meaning the AOV is 100, is a $90 profit. And that's amazing. But if you do a 2x ROAS on 100, well, that profit is $100 because that'd be a $200 AOV. So you can go from a 10x ROAS to a 2 and actually make more money. In that case, 11% more, from $90 to 100. You make over 10% more money with every dollar you spend. Now, the ROAS is 20% as good. It's like 5 times worse, but you make more money. And because it's a higher price point and because you're getting people through, the odds of them coming back to buy it again and again are far more likely. Hello, UK. Barbara, I love that you've just been plowing through stuff. I got my alert over here. I'm going to slide this over because I'm going to be way distracted. There we go. Okay. So anyway, let's keep moving on. We got to talk now also about consolidation for stability. So after you figure out where you're actually making money, we have to fix the structure. Now, almost every ad account I see has too many campaigns, too many audiences, and consistent exclusions. Whether you're promoting 15 different products, if you're in the, if you're in the cost capper framework, right? If you're going after all of those terrible people with fragmented spend and massive chaos, or maybe you're like simple with an M3 and still facing all the same issues. If you're Ferris or Piliero or Constantinos, all of these folks, Ben Heath, you're not doing productive things. You're spending a lot of money in a lot of different places. You can't scale chaos, especially with really inconsistent results. And that's why we built Andromeda One. That's why I invented the one campaign like nearly a decade ago. So you consolidate. What we did to scale this business, what I recommend you do is fewer campaigns, fewer places to spend. Put your budget behind where the GPT is good. And use automated rules to shift that spend based on profit volume, not clicks or ROAS, and do it slowly. It doesn't need to be fast. I was on a call with the NBA folks yesterday, and there was a guy running 5 different campaigns. Tikas, if you're here, shout out. There we go. I blew his anonymity anyway. Point is, we had one campaign where we were pulling back by like $50 to $100, and 2 other campaigns where we're adding $25 a day, $35 a day. Now, the thing is that you're pulling back a little bit more than you're adding, so your overall spend will go down. But his cost per dropped by 20%. So even though he spent $9,000 less this week than the week before, he had 2 less sales. And we're talking about a guy that's getting well over 100. Like, this is a rounding error, okay? Less than 1% difference, or less than 2% difference. $9,000 less, the total sales volume and revenue, less than 2% different. Yes, you're spending less, but you're spending that money more appropriately. And what happened is, as we began to pull back on the budgets, the liabilities where the GPT wasn't as good, They contributed less to the overall pool. So they were less of a liability over time. And we used automated rules so that work didn't need to be done at all. Let's say something was like $700, we make it 701 minus 100 a day. In a week, that thing's no longer a liability on your balance sheet. You don't have to do fucking anything. And then where you're winning, just add 25 bucks a day. Yes, you pull back faster than you scale, but you're pulling back the liability. You're pulling back the expensive shit. Thank you, Nate. You're pulling back the thing that is above average. And you're adding to the thing that's below average. But you're adding to the thing that's below average in a slow, consistent, stable way and pulling back the liability in a faster way. And fun fact, when you pull back the budget, it's going to look better and better and better. There's a siren song pulling you back onto the rocks. You ignore that shit. I think he got like nearly 20% better in a week. The point is this. Merely investing where your return is stronger. That is infinitely more powerful than launching a new ad. And most people get that wrong. Most accounts that I see, if you have 5 campaigns running right now, I guarantee if you don't launch an ad for the next month and just merely shift your investments to what works and what doesn't, and get rid of the things that are liabilities to bottom line, you'll make more money, even if you spend less. And full disclosure, I have a video coming out next week where I talk about how I turned off all of my ads for my business in January. Now, mind you, I've also shared how I spent nearly $200,000 in December at a profit, but I turned off all of my ads for January. We made over 130 grand in revenue, and over 80,000 of that was pure profit. I paid my taxes, payroll, and to be fair, my paycheck is not small because I have a house in LA and an apartment in Manhattan, and it's over $3 million in real estate. Like I got to pay myself over 20 grand just to make sure that we're not out on the street. So there's a lot of overhead, but we got rid of employees that didn't matter. We eliminated ad spend. There's so much to that. So I have a whole video coming out next week that's the 48 lessons I learned while getting a quarter of my 2025 revenue in 30 days to start the year, which means I'm likely to get 2 or 3 times the overall volume of profit, which could very well be in the millions of dollars profit, not revenue, this year for just my business. And so there's just all of this stuff that I really want to share with you guys, but we also have a shit ton of comments. By the way, hey from the Philippines, Marvin, you never miss one. I love it. Hello from Mexico. I love that. Hello from the UK. And you guys can't see, but I'm pointing to like on my dashboard. I can see like the comments. So I'm just pointing to them. So anyway, here's why that matters. Adjusting your spend investments. Spending more in fewer places creates stability. Stability enables scale. Instability caps spend. Messy accounts create randomness, not leverage. If you have to constantly launch new ads, it's because you're not good at what you're doing. Florida, India, all right. Then we fix signal clarity. Every ad set had, when we were doing this for catalog ads, every ad set had a different ad in it, which is crazy. Different audiences, why do they have different ads? We did a simple thing. There's like 4 or 5 different ad sets and all different ads. We just put them all into every ad set so we could measure apples to apples. Now the system could really answer a real question. What ad performs best across the entire account? What we found really mattered. The best ad that we found wasn't just hitting in one audience. And when we put it everywhere, it hit everywhere. The AOV on that ad was 50% higher than any other ad. The GPT was 2x on that ad versus other ones. And that's just creative testing on DPA. If your creative only works in one pocket, it's not scalable. It's fragile. Find something that works everywhere and get rid of everything else. And I also want you to start to optimize for customer behavior. So you have to stop asking the wrong question. You have to stop asking what sells the easiest and start asking what creates repeat buying behavior. And this is why I created Disruptor Tools. We pulled the historical data to understand what a customer buys first. And based on whatever they buy first, what do they buy second? How long does that take and what is that worth? That alone will answer everything. Now, the agency that brand had hired, which was a creative hit rate hunting for ROAS agency, that may or may not have been really popular on YouTube and on Twitter and a bunch of other stuff. We'll leave them be. Throw in the comment section if you can guess them. And if you get it right, I will let you know. They have been focusing on products that sold easy, but also had very low repeat purchase rates. And they were selling primarily to customers that had already bought. So they dried up the funnel while the ROAS went up and the customer quality went down. And this is one of the most common e-commerce failure mistakes I see across everybody. Nobody's talking, like, if you notice, when you look at the landscape of folks, and I am doing more and more reviews, and I'm watching all of the videos from other people. Nobody's saying this thing makes you a 20% lower ROAS, but has a 3 times greater likelihood for somebody to come back and buy again, and that second sale is essentially free. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying this ROAS is smaller, but we're more profitable on it. No, nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying silly things like, when you launch a ton more ads and reach a lot more people, that means there's a whole bunch more people coming to your site for dramatically different reasons, which dramatically reduces the quality of every CRO decision. Like, if you put up 1,000 billboards, let's just pretend for an instance, for a moment, that your website was a physical store. If every single day the kind of people who walked in looked and behaved and were motivated by completely different things, do you think you have any fucking clue how to close a deal when they say this is what I'm interested in? No, there's categorically impossible. So then you're going to try to say, well, what is the thing that most people like, even though everybody's be different? Well, they're going to like the thing that's easiest to sell and least likely to build any relationship. Because you're optimizing for the salesperson's efficiency instead of the bank account's scale. I hope that you're beginning to understand some of this. So what I want you to do is start to choose products that create future value. And that's what Disruptor Tools will show you. And that's how we can change what products we were testing. And yeah, we did product testing. We ran all the catalog stuff. And then we looked at the products that had an above average AOV, had a very higher than average likelihood to second purchase, and a short time to second purchase. And when we found those products, we launched them. We did like 2 ads in an ad set in its own campaign and did a shootout between 2 products at a time, turned off the one that sucked, and we just kind of rotated through them all, okay? And the beauty of that is that higher CAC became safe, scaling became predictable, profits stacked over time. You're not selling products, you are buying customer journeys. And when you feed the machine before asking the sale, sales become a lot easier. So many folks say that, like, well, you just got to get better ads, get better ads, get better ads, and eventually somebody will fuck at hello. I don't want that. We ran engagement campaigns on every piece of organic content, not to chase likes, but to train the machine. Every post got like distribution so Meta could learn who was interested and what they cared about and what products resonated. The result was much lower CPMs, much higher conversion rates, higher AOV. Because people weren't being sold cold. They were already warm. They were coming to the business to spend, not being tricked by an ad to maybe buy something. Demand creation always makes demand capture cheaper. Your conversion ad doesn't need to be the top of the funnel. So I highly recommend you watch that video because it breaks this all down step by step. But the account ended up with the spend going from $400 a week to $3,000 a day. We launched 10 ads in a month. We were managing the account in 90 minutes a week. Repeat purchase rate went from almost 20 to nearly 40. AOV nearly doubled. And scaling became really simple. Not every day was great. Some days were worse, some days were better, of course. But like, we just put in automated rules. Most performance advice is designed to win today. Operators need systems that still work later. The moment you stop asking, how do I make this ad work? And you start asking, what am I investing in? That's the moment that scaling stops feeling chaotic. That is the shift required to scale meta ads in 2026. And I hope that lands. I hope that lands for you. All right, we got a couple of questions over here, and then we're going to just dive into all the stuff. I want to give a shout out to all the new members of the Disruptor Academy, and then we're just going to go through all the fucking questions because we got so many. Okay. If I have 4 creatives in a CBO campaign, all in the same ad set, and one that has double the CPA of the second worst, should I turn it off? If the campaign is good, then you don't have a problem. Also, you shouldn't have 4 creatives. Please make it a 322 ads. Man, people get addicts of drugs. I get addicted to your videos, which made me something today in society. I can proudly say I'm a profitable brand owner. All credits to you. Aman. Is it Aman Ka? I don't know where the one name ends in the. I'm going to say it's Aman Kashyap, or is it Aman Kashyap? I don't know. Either way, thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. Nate, thank you. Hey, I love it. Yeah, this is what I need. One is way too confusing with too many campaigns. Yeah, I just don't understand why people like the nobody does the math. Nobody understands like, oh, well, that's fucking stupid to have 10 campaigns. I don't get it. And full disclosure, I spent about $400,000 at the brand tracking down the M3 method from San Piliero to dismantle it and understand how it works. And my business partner, Nadeem, or my buddy Nadeem, who's also an MBA grad, we went through it all point to point. And we've got an expose coming soon that I think will mean that Sam stops answering my text messages. But we'll see. We will see. I think everybody's hating on the one campaign method, so we're just going to start spending a lot of money in the way that other people say. And then destroying the business, and then doing what we say to fix it, and just show you the entire process. Because fuck it. Why not? They can't compete. They can't run it our way and lose. And we can't run it their way and win. So let's just show everybody how it works. All right. Now, with that being said, everyone, let's have some fun. We're going to share the screen. We're going to dive into here. Let's just do the window. Boom. We're going to go over here. Now, before we get into this today, I do want to just shout out to the Academy, a bunch of new members. So we're going to filter by standard, premium, and VIP. Sort by newest. Oh, no, wait. Filter. There we go. So just shout out to all the new members we have in the last 2 weeks. Cody and Ron, Guy, Blake, Jared, Alex, Hamza, William, Alexander bumped up to the VIP, the annual plan. Stephen, Victor, Edward, Alex, Jason. It's on free. I don't know why you're in this one, but that's fine. Eduardo, Ranzola. Look at this. Ranelza bumped up to the annual plan. Thank you. I'm so excited. Talking to you in the DMs was fantastic. Let's see. Jesse, Daniel at Mad Hatters joined the annual plan. Daniel Raz has joined the annual plan. Mark is on the monthly. Steve is on the monthly. Toby's on the monthly. Uche's on the monthly. Casper has joined the annual plan. Jared is on the monthly. Tonelli's on the monthly. Christopher's on the monthly. Christian's on the annual plan. William, I'm not going to go on because this is crazy, but I hope you guys understand. This is just like this is not even the last week. Things are blowing up here. And for what it's worth, you see a lot of people talk about their MRR, their growth. Okay. This is what matters to me. 85% of people that join stick around. That number for most people that run ads to their community is 85% of people don't. I hope you're starting to understand like what's going on here. Like, so I hope that you join. I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you get everything you possibly can out of Disruptor Academy. You can join for free down there. We have a free tier with a whole bunch of stuff. In the classroom, we've got the creative testing on Meta after Andromeda course that literally talks through the entire thing, plus builds an account. We have the Andromeda 1 that goes step by step through how to build the Andromeda 1 system. We've got like these wonderful flow charts and all sorts of stuff. Shout out to Gemini. There was a prompt that just made all of this shit super easy, which I really appreciated. We just launched the lead gen for operators, which every business is a lead generation business. Even if you like, oh, I run an e-com business. No, you have a lead gen business. And so we break this down again, all of the same stuff, lead generation, when conversions is your goal, when you're monetizing leads, the SLO cheat code that everybody needs to understand. We get into how I built ads for Hormozi's $100 million leads and what that looked like. We also get into running newsletters, lead captures, and lead qualifier calculators. This one segment alone is like 5 hours worth of stuff. So anyway, just shout out to the community. It's been blowing up and it just makes me so happy. So let's see if we can ring the bell on the cash register, like on the call today. It's fun when that just interrupts the chat. So all that being said, let's get into it. Let's just go. Nope. Sort by newest. Oh. Okay. That's the coffee. That's what I needed. Oh, here we go. I'm just dropping in to say, everyone who hasn't joined Charlie's School Academy yet, now is the time if you really want to boost your sales and understand. Well, thank you. Thanks, buddy. Look at that. How can you not trust that? Look at that jawbone structure, dude. Blessed by the gods. Look at that. Amazing. Anyway, let's get into it today. All right. Nope, we don't need that. Okay. Hey, I recognize you from this chat. What to do in this case? Suddenly I got 80% less sales than normal. Sessions were all the same. Money spent is the same. CPMs are just increased, but no sales. Is this normal? Or is Meta just trying to find a new audience? I don't know what the timeline is for this. So if you want to come back and let me know, or if you're in the academy, just drop like your screenshots and I'll go through all that and look at it. I fully expect performance from 2 weeks ago to be worse than 3 weeks ago, from last week to be worse than the week before that, and for this week to struggle. And then in about 10 days, the dam is going to break and everything's going to be amazing again. And that's just the way that it works every single year. So stay the course, man. Stay the course. Only invest money that you can afford to lose, because it's investing a portion of your profits in the growth of your business. That's how you run ads responsibly. Okay. Over here, let's keep going. Hi, my name is Nick. I'm 25. I'm a media buyer working for an agency. They're managing quite a few brands. Okay. I learned from you entirely. Most valuable content. Thank you so much. There's one thing I want to know. It's a big request. But here's my shot. Currently, I'm managing, and results are really bad at the moment. They're only getting worse. I really don't know what's going on. I want to ask if there's any option to give me some advice directly in this account. My number one recommendation, Slim Nick, is join the academy. Show up to the live calls. And if you bump up to the VIP program, you can submit 2 5-minute looms a month, and I'll dive into that. And honestly, like, that's the cheapest way to access my time. I'm going to probably have to take that away sooner than later. So the people that join it are going to continue to get it. But like, those people are basically getting my time for like $50 to $100 an hour. And normally it's like 2,000. So that's what I would do, because there's just so much context that I need. Thank you, Charlie. Well, thank you. Every word you speak is pure gold. Save the video and save it, my marketing friends. Oh, thank you so much. The most honest video I've ever watched on any role. Thank you so much. Yeah, the 100K a year, how to earn a 6-figure living as a media buyer. I just tell you my story and how everything works. And apparently it's really, really helping people, which is great. This is the 4PI analysis going way, way back. Why sometimes increase the budget with our ad with the 1.2 frequency moving towards upper in the funnel, and days later came back to what it was? Because when you increase the budget, the machine is trying to understand how to use your ad differently. 4PI analysis is something that we've been talking about for years. And it was funny, my buddy David Herman on Twitter was like, hey, I've been noticing this thing. Let's actually see if we can pull this up. Let's go to x.com. Notifications. Let's see if we can. Let's see. Is it Nick that said this? Nope. Okay. Somebody's like, yeah, this is just what Charlie's been saying for years. And I was like, yeah, I think that's it. So let's see. Is that let's see, where are we at? This, give people what they want. There we go. Okay. So David says, this is gem from Meta in action. One of my campaigns has 4 different flex ads. Love it. One talks to customer base in the funnel. Highest CPA has been the lowest CPM because they're designed to get informational awareness. David, as of the 4th of February, is saying, hey, the new update in Facebook is really showing that this is how it works. I'm specifically referencing since data. Yeah, this is not an update from Gem. This is how Meta has operated since advanced matching eliminated targeting. Got a ton on this. Happy to send anything over to you. This is textbook, though. Love it. Awesome. Boom. So anyway, just great to see all of this stuff here. Okay. Let's just keep going. Solid strategy, scaling, tracking, consulting is just always in the chats to sell some stuff. If your data is broken, even the best structure fails. First party, server side, yeah, absolutely. Meta numbers are not the right one. You should be looking at third-party tools like Hyros or Triple Whale. No, first off, never use Hyros. It's a terrible piece of technology that poorly answers a question that you don't need answered in a way that isn't actionable. There are very few exceptions. There's a very small world where Hyros is the right solution. And for those people, it's great. But I almost categorically say you don't need it. And it's not that anything changed. And the meta numbers are not the right ones. Right. No attribution software is ever correct. It has nothing to do with that. If you're not measuring how you spend and the impact that has on the rest of your marketing and what that looks like on your bank account, then you're not looking at things in the right way. You have to look at social media marketing and all digital marketing in the same way that people looked at billboards and television. Attribution, pixels, train the machine what to do. They're not there for you to make decisions on what works and what doesn't. I've always wondered why my CPMs for my stuff as a creator is so low, but it's like an artifact of running engagement stuff for years. Yeah, dude, Donnie's getting $4 or $5 CPMs in English-speaking Western countries, just crushing the game. Well, the biggest issue is Flex Ads not being able to control placement. How do you handle this? Yes, I only run a 1x1 or a 16x9 or whatever it is. I am not concerned with this because I'm not mixing placements. I don't give a fuck about placements. Oh, I want it to run in Reels. Okay, make a 16x9. Oh, I want it to show up as a static image everywhere. Do a 1x1. What's the problem that you're trying to solve? What's the best creative style to solve that problem? Just make the test completely around the best solution for that problem. You don't have a problem. That's my whole point. All right. I have lots of ad sets. How can I make fewer ad sets and put ads together? Take some post IDs. Absolutely, you can do that. Also, you can just start turning off shit where the CPA is above average and the GPT is below. Fun fact, I'll announce it here. And if we have time, I might be able to do a bit of a demo. But we're introducing a brand new piece to Disruptor Tools where you're going to be able to download a report from your Facebook, upload it and it will tell you where every ad sits. Is it a waster? Is it a scaler? Is it a qualifier? Like in the quadrant of should you run it or not. And it'll tell you based on how aggressively you want to improve performance, the moves you should make. And it's kind of fucking bananas. I'm fucking stoked on it. And it's just going to tell you constantly to turn off high ROAS ads, which I think is hilarious. And people are just going to make way more money with it, with way more stable results by doing less and less work. It's going to be irrefutable, which is my kind of style. So anyway, that's what I would do. Morgan, love to hear your thoughts about running engagement campaigns on organic creative. Is that something you recommend for all brands? Yes. Is that something you hesitate in recommending for a new brand? No, that might have a smaller following, especially for that brand. Love this one. By the way, I've got full-on courses in this stuff inside of Disruptor Academy. There's a free course on how to crush on a low budget. Scan down below, join the academy, get in for free, bang it out. Okay. I do see the chats blowing up over here, everybody. So just stick around. I will get to you in the order in which you ask questions. It's just I got to get through all this stuff because we're 2 days and I got 14 to go. So we're just gonna espresso. Hammer. Okay. Love this one. There's only one question. How do you separate post IDs from 3 Flex ads? I actually have a whole thing I'm going to be doing with this with a bit of a developer solution, and I am fucking stoked. So more on that later, but honestly, just go to your business inbox and look at the things that get comments. The thing that gets a shit ton of comments from the 322 that you're running, you just click on the timestamp and then boom. Do you answer the live chat too? Yes, I do. But right now we got to get it through 2 weeks worth of comments on YouTube. It's ask a question Y Vegas 81 and me as C Titchener 84. We'll get back to you. Okay. This is a great strategy, but I see many businesses fail because conversion tracking isn't accurate. If Meta doesn't trust the data, performance breaks fast. Okay. Wow. Cuedo Tradición Español. Somebody knows what this, let's see what this is. It's a shame I didn't stay with it. Okay. I wish I really, we've got, I do need to make transcripts of these videos available in all languages. By the way, fun fact, if you join Disruptor Academy, the transcription of every single video is available, and you can take that and dump it into chat and just build out whatever you need. Or you can just come in, steal everything, and then bounce, whatever. Literally the next week, you won't be, because we will launch new classes and new courses and new calls every single week. If you rip it all off and bail, by the next week, you're behind. If you have a product that teaches a language, would you ever create ads that takes the user to a full free lesson? Sure. This way they can see the platform? Sure. Would you still use a sale objective? Sure. If you have 3 lessons that you want them to see via an ad, would you run an ad to different retargeting campaign? I don't know that I would do that. I think ultimately you need to understand the value, volume, and cost of everything inside of your funnel. What you're talking about here is a lead funnel. The lead generation for operators course inside of Disruptor Academy is the full-on solution for this thing. Join it today. The Academy is free. Jump up to premium. Grab that course. Everybody runs lead gen. Every single business is lead generation, even your neighborhood bar. I promise. Once you watch that video, it's going to change everything about how you think about everything. I mean, there's no shade, but I wish you spoke this calmly. I normally only watch 1 or 2 videos before the over-the-top tone gets to be too much. Hey, look, I'm glad that you love it. I totally understand. And I think some people really follow because of my like energetic nature and everything else. But like, I just, for the Academy news, I do try to be very calm, but it is a bit disingenuous. Like I have to be very controlled. I'm like, okay, we're going to do it like this. I pretend like I'm talking to my daughter or my son. And it's hard sometimes to stay on point when I'm throttling my excitement, but I appreciate the feedback. Not used to your calm voice. Yeah. Good stuff on the catalog breakdown. First time seeing it as a senior media buyer. Also, Disruptor Tools looks pretty unmatched. Yeah, there's nothing that does what Disruptor Tool does. It's literally the only product in the market that does what it does, which is crazy to me. But it's because we're answering questions that people need to answer. We're giving people data that they need to see, not what they want to see, because they've been taught by people that don't give a fuck about succeeding in business around what to value, because SaaS companies don't, honestly, they're focused around giving people what they want, not what they need. I don't need the money. I sell it at basically break even. It's like $100 a month. I don't have massive scale. I don't have VC backing. I don't have investors. That's my overhead on software and like server costs and like engineers. Like that's what it is. I think I make like a coffee a day for everyone that joins. That's it. Right? I'm not rolling in the dough. My ads always interactive right away. Cool. Hey, Charlie, what about the best days of the week? Doesn't matter. There is no such thing. Do you usually increase the budget? Oh, wait. What about the best days of the week? Do you usually increase the budget 5, 10? I like to 5% 3 times a week is going to double your budget every month. Deal with that problem. I don't know why people make such complicated setups. Yeah, I think it sounds cool, but in reality, just saying it as complete sentences doesn't make any fucking sense. I agree with you. Also, I really request you make a video on how to create winning creatives. In one of your shorts, you mentioned that only 3 types of creators need to scale. It'd be much better if you showed this practically the same way you show ad sets. Very interesting. I will see what I can do on that. I like that suggestion. Your face when you see 515 ads. Yeah, I mean, bro, come on. Like, what do we even do? It's impossible. Like, there's no amount of money in the world that would let you be able to understand the impact of 515 ads. And to be fair, there's an extremely intellectually dishonest presentation around the number of ads that these brands are running. Sam says, well, look at this brand and look at this stuff. And then he shows ads from 17 different countries and saying, well, look, it's 1,000 ads. Well, okay, it's like 50 ads per country promoting 4 different offers. Let's be honest, okay? Anyway, I always come back for your content. Thank you so much. Conversion with Cody. Hey, Cody. Welcome to the Academy, by the way. Thanks for your incredible videos. Quick question, if you don't mind. If you have a small purchase and set up one campaign, what do you set to go for? Budget purchases, that's fine. Aren't those the most expensive audiences? Yes. Wouldn't it make sense to run a cheap awareness campaign than have a second campaign to retarget engagement? You can absolutely do that if you can afford it. And inside the How to Crush Facebook Ads on a Small Budget, we actually bring that entire piece together in that course that's in the Academy. Right there's the link. Okay, but I don't know how to set that up. Two, I heard Facebook needs at least 50 conversions per month to learn. Don't worry about that shit. We sell a $1,300 product. Yeah, okay, Cody, for $1,300, you need to figure out another way of doing it. I would have an SLO front end into figuring out how to get people through the process, and I can absolutely work with you on that. And we do 2 case studies in the lead generation for operators. One of them specifically talks about this exact system. Been waiting for a local service business. Well, I'm glad that helps. Clinton and Obama, don't get political on my shit, homie. Also, yeah, they did the budget at 10 times higher with a death rate that was 20 times higher. So basically, you're saying that they did a much better job without killing people. Awesome. This is getting weird. Okay, thought you'd like the positivity on this one. Yeah, it's somehow good. We as the audience need both of you to really deeply understand the machine. Yeah, keep doing what you're both doing. Thank you. Yeah, you keep outputting videos, Sam, and if they're really popular and I disagree with the information, I'm going to do it. And if I agree with the information, I also want to give that point. Like, this is a completely positive video where I'm like, I agree with 2/3 what you said. I mean, at this point, I'm watching the same video twice. The first time to know for sure what the second one is coming. I have my bets on. I love that. Show us a student scaling from $50 a day to $5K a day using only broad targeting. Yeah, okay. Show anybody doing this. Scott is one of my favorite trolls. Fun fact, Scott didn't troll the video where I literally show what he's been asking me constantly. Scott, I need you to step it up, buddy. If you're going to troll me on the things when I actually do what you ask. Please. Otherwise, what am I even doing this for? All I want to do is make you happy. Don't follow business that doesn't need, that part is gold. Yeah. The point here is, yeah. If you're following a brand that doesn't need to be good at ads, don't follow their ad strategy. You're going to start charging $10K for info free on the internet as well. I don't know what this is about. I do have a 10K offer. I also have a 157 offer. I also let people come in for free. But hey, that's cool. I'd be careful about posting those only AI brands. Okay. Turned off by, I don't know. I don't even know what this is. I think that's a reaction to a live video. Okay, we're just hammering. Okay, guaranteed PPC. I appreciate the engagements. I imagine if I were to go to your account, it'd just be a shit ton of you commenting on everybody. Thanks for the engagement, Scott. Oh, my favorite troll. Okay. You started a video promising to blow up your account. Then you spend 40 minutes rearranging metrics, lecturing the right way to view and criticizing your setup. It gave 0 actionable advice. But that's not true at all, Scott. We go over multiple pieces of actionable advice, plus how to track new customers, how to set up catalogs the right way, how to understand what good looks like and why fake wins are actually liabilities, and how to automate everything like this. That's actually really, really actionable advice, and how to move away from spending more time and energy in the ad account, how to move away from day trading the ads and start operating the business. Sam P just organizing columns and lecturing. Okay, but she was working with people like that, and it was so bad, she came to me to fix it. Okay. Launching campaigns. Are you just going to stick to people who make it more complicated and hurt people? Got it. Okay. Yeah, thanks for the feedback, everybody. Yeah, and I actually was like, hey, check out today's video, hyper actionable. Didn't troll me yet. Scott, get on it, buddy. Where are you at? Are you okay? Do we need to send a care package to your mom's basement? As targeting, okay. Thank you for covering the fashion niche. You're welcome. First comment, love it. Okay, all you do is talk. No one knows how your campaign works. Well, I actually do break it down constantly, and in Disruptor Academy, we break it down even more. I don't think you need to understand how it works if it works for you, but if you actually start running it and understand the nuances and how to optimize it, you will figure out how it all works. And to be fair, nobody understands how running 17 different campaigns work against each other, because it actually doesn't. So if you don't understand how it works, but it's better for you, is that really a problem? And if you start working it, probably would understand how it works. Appreciate your value. I'm working towards the minimum ad spend so I can join school soon. Love that. If your one campaign targets multiple countries, separate ad sets, smaller countries and smaller audiences. I know Meta seems to push more just to the bigger audiences first. Sure, absolutely. You could also use spend minimums if you want to more aggressively focus on hitting the smaller places. So you can absolutely do that. Guaranteed PPC. I appreciate your questions, but I'm not going to pull up your ads on these live chats. Okay. Hi, I appreciate your content. It'd be amazing if you can answer one quick question. I want to try 322 ads, but I own a business in Cambodia. People buy mostly on Messenger. Yeah, just use the send message as a CTA. Shit, I thought the burner account was only something I did. Yeah, by the way, if you should check out this video for the burner account strategy just by itself. That alone will fundamentally change everything that you need to. Oh, the button pushers are out in force today, David says. I just look over at the chat. Yeah, they're everywhere. Oh my God, everything's going horribly wrong. Like, I told you 3 weeks ago it was going to happen. I told you last year it was going to happen. I'm also telling you now that in 2 weeks, everything's going to be a lot better. All the cost caps in the world are going to fail in a week, and everybody's going to be claiming that like the sky is on fire. But just the world is doing exactly what it does every single year. We know it's going to happen. I put out a calendar 5 years ago about what to expect on every single month of what you should be doing, and it's still fucking accurate because it's built around consumer behavior and buying patterns and usage of the social media. Like, until the weather patterns change and the economies fundamentally differ, which we might be very well facing. There's probably a big recession coming in the United States, but that's neither here nor there. Like, it's mind-blowing to me. I can't stand that YouTubers take political stands. Cool. First off, by the way, for anybody that's like, I can't stand that somebody's taking a political stand. First off, I'm a punk rocker, then I'm an artist, then I'm a business owner, then I'm a teacher. Okay, I'm a teacher and then a businessman. I don't think that saying murder is bad is a political stance. And I do think that laws should apply to everybody. If that is offensive in a political stance, sounds to me like the problem is the person offended by that. And if you don't like it, hey, go follow somebody else. If you want to know where I stand on things, I've got a career in political talk radio and a punk band. Like, you can, I am aggressively on the right side of history and will confront people who I think are hurting others. That's what I do on my channel. That's what I do in my real life. I'm just this person everywhere. If you don't like my stance, I don't give a fuck. Okay. Turning off ads with below CBO, average CPA, and below average. Okay. That's 0 at midnight every day for the last 7 days. Results are good. Okay. Awesome. Generate faster than before. However, I turn off an ad, 50% of my CBO spending on it. I think that would take it 1 or 2 days. I would not turn off an ad that's spending 50% of my CBO. I think that's a pretty aggressive move. But yeah, I think you're making too many changes too fast. Since it's a Shopee store in Southeast Asia, there's double day sales every month. Okay, got it. And paydays on the 25th every month. Got it. Just always want to win a little bit. Here's my thing. You got to think bigger, move slower, and that's how you're going to get to where you want a lot faster. More on that next week in my 48 lessons I learned by turning off all of my ads and tripling my profitability. By the way, I've turned the ads back on. I just did a month holdout to see like what is broken in my business. And yeah, we made nearly $100,000 in profit, which was incredible. I'm very thrilled about it. And this month, not looking bad either. I got to tell you, we're ahead of pace on revenue already this month. So not unhappy about that. Things are going well over in Charlie Land. Okay. Hey, great video. Quick question. How do you work with different sizes? You only run one size. Charlie's crack, I'm subbing. Love it. I almost dropped 5 videos last week. And then my YouTube coach. I am in the YouTube coach. The guy his name is Ed Lawrence. I think his program is excellent. I do think he's closed his program. Callaway also has a program, although I think his program is also closing. A lot of these folks are just closing their high ticket programs. And to be fair, I'm pivoting my high ticket program or a way to enter it as well. My coach is like, bro, don't fucking drop 5 videos this week. Just track the link, just track the sales you get from each video and just launch another one when it's coming down. And I was like, okay. So the roast of Jeremy Haynes is coming soon. Okay. The amount of honesty in this video is incomparable. Rare finds. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you enjoyed that. That's me just setting Chase Chappelle on fire because he brags about spending money to go hang out with Ty Lopez, learning about how to be a legitimate business owner. Like, come on, bro. Come on. If I sell clothing, I have a men's brand and women's brand. Okay. Men's collection, women's collection, target all this stuff. Yeah. So do we need the gifting ads? If everything you're doing is working so well, why change it? I probably wouldn't. Okay. This is really, I call value. Hope you accept me in your school. Okay. You know what? I'm going to make a pivot. I made a point because I knew I wasn't going to go live to answer to every single one of these people. So I think we're going to be good here on going through all of these folks. So I'm going to leave this be, although Barbara, okay, cool. Glad you liked it. Boom. I do have AI sometimes to help me respond to things. So if it sounds really fake, it's because it is. Just I want you to know that you're seen, but I also am not going to spend the time to have a heartfelt response to like you saying thank you. Only because yeah. Anyway, so let's just keep up Disruptor Academy over here. Boom. So we were at 45 before. We're at 47 now. Awesome. Let's get some people in. Settings. Come on. I'm one sale away from the 27,000. I need to get to 27,000 by the end of today to stay on pace for my growth for the month. Anyway, let's keep going. So we're just going to keep that. We're just going to pull up the classroom so everybody can see what you can get inside of the community. Fantastic. That's Disruptor Academy. There's the QR code to join in the description of this video. You'll also get the link. So all that being said, let's hit the comments. What do you say, everybody? All right. Hi, Charlie. Hi. South Florida. Love from India. Hate from the Philippines. You're the goat. Oh, thank you. I think we already got to these stuff. So anyway, let's keep going. Hey, Charlie. Hi. Yeah, joined the school. Thank you so much. Hello from India. All right, Achievely. You've been spamming the comments, and I hope things been working out. Yo, I have one ad image, 2 angles, money, health, stick them in the same campaign or split them into money ad set and health ad set. If it's the same product, there's no reason you should have the 2 different campaigns, 2 different ad sets, and one ad image, 2 angles. Why not have 3 images for each one and run as a 3-2-2? Achievely, you've been paying attention. I know you've been hitting the comment section. I know that you know my response is going to be don't put it in a different campaign if the objective is the same. Don't put them in a different ad set if you can't get out of learning, and don't run it as a single ad when you can do a 3-2-2. Level it up. If you're like, well, I can't make more images, throw it into Meta, have it do the AI generation of alternatives, and just download ones that you like. Boom. Then you have 30 images. Simple. I'm ready to show that process here on the channel really soon because I don't think people appreciate just how fucking good that stuff is. Hey, Charlie, I launched a new campaign optimized for a new customer. Love it, Marvin. Hell yeah. Now, remember, it's not going to be as good as you want it right away. So use a small percentage of the budget. And as the machine learns how to do it, all you need it to be is the second worst thing. So you can take the budget from the worst thing and push it over there. And now you're throttling for volume of conversions and volume of new customers so you can control CAC and cash flow. Well done, Marvin. I love it. Man. Yichi at Amherst owes me a steak dinner. That's all I'm saying. Okay, hey, I have 2 catalog campaigns. One is new, set up as a proper catalog. The other one is the old way, the wrong way. Okay, Leah, I think I remember this. Okay, the proper catalog has an amazing GPT and the cost per purchase now. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. The proper catalog. So just remember to use automated rules to shift budget from one to the other. Let's say they're both at $100. Take $5 a day from the wrong one and add it to the right one. And before you know it, and just a little bit of time, less than 3 weeks, the bad one will be completely gone. And the good one will just scale just so you get better results and more profitable every single day. Like quite literally, if you do nothing other than that, every single week will be better than the last week if you're doing 0 effort. And you have 3 weeks before you need to worry about anything else. And to be fair, if the results are good, that adding $5 a day, you can just keep it running. And if you keep it running for the year, you're going to add over $1,500 to that campaign that you started at $100. I'll just do that. I was talking with a brand that's in the MBA program, and they have a campaign running at about $500 a day. I told them to add $10 a day to that campaign and make everything in the business is allowing that to work. Now, their #1 campaign ever, so spending about $2,000 a day. If you add $10 a day for 365 days to a campaign that's spending $400, not 500, sorry, so 400, you'll be at over $4,000 a day. Why are we doing anything else? If you can get double whatever your best used to be, and all it means is you have one objective in the business, and it's to say, I'm happy spending $10 more tomorrow. Just do that. Just do that. There's literally nothing else in the business that matters. Just do that one thing, because it will lift everything else in the business. Is it normal that CPM is 4 times more expensive? On the new campaigns, yes, because it's a new objective with a new goal, and the machine just has to learn, Marvin. That's why we started off slow and then ramp it up. Do I keep the old catalog running? I'll keep dropping the budget. Shout out to Amherst for their amazing tools. Okay, guys, I'm giving you advice and then realizing you're asking me the questions, because I get these questions a lot. And I'm running these things. So anyway, this is making me happy. By the way, how do we test and scale campaigns and ensure that everything doesn't break through the process? Move slowly. Do you answer live chats? Yes. My name is Bogus. Bogus? White kid from the suburbs in America, working on being something more than completely uncultured. I'm totally guilty of that, 100%. And I even have a weird last name that most people misspell. So, like, I appreciate it, and we're gonna get there. What is your rule for minimum ad spend when you decide an ad set that doesn't work, when they have a minimum ad spend for a product that costs like $180? Okay, wait. Rule for minimum ad spend, and when do you decide the ad set doesn't work? Okay, so I don't have a rule for minimum ad spend. Spend $5, fine. What can you afford to invest, even if you got no sales from that campaign, because you're investing the profits from the rest of your business? That's the max ad spend. Anything above that you can do, but understand that you are now buying into future results and you might not be able to afford it. How do you decide that the ad set doesn't work? I never decide the ad set doesn't work. It's is the campaign effective? Now, is this ad set or is this ad a liability? Well, when that ad earns more spend, what happens to my bank account? Does it get better or worse? If it gets worse, then it's bad for me. If it gets better, then it's good for me. I don't give a fuck what the ROAS has to say. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, David. Yo. Okay, we just answered that. Spam in the chat. The button pushers are out in force. Yes, they are. Hey, sir, I want to become a media buyer from scratch. I don't even have a laptop yet. Can you suggest me some work before so I can go afford a laptop? I don't know how to do that. I don't know, but just get the cheapest laptop you possibly can. I don't know where you're at in the world. I don't know what you can do, but like mow some yards, like stand outside the Home Depot, like whatever it is, man. I love this thirst for knowledge. And I will tell you, there are people in India running shit off of like phones that are doing this thing. Is this actually live? Yes, it is. I'm online shop on Facebook doing live stream sales. Cool. This is the second question. I do not have a website. Which campaign should be using for engagement campaigns via Messenger? You can do that. You can do sales campaigns through the Messenger. That's totally fine. Hey, Charlie, I request to be added to the premium level on School. I'm a longtime follower, Noah. You don't have to request to be added as a premium member. You can just pay for it. Just go to, I'll just show you this. If you go to the communities tab and then you hit upgrade to premium, it'll bring you right here. There it is, $147 a month. Boom, done. Jump on in. The water's warm. You can also jump into disruptor tools here. Boom, right there. And this CPA and GPT optimizer, like that might go live tomorrow. I'm fucking stoked for that one. Anyway, there you go, Noah. Okay, not spam, just okay. So you are updating the your tool shows removed comments. Okay, my bad. Yeah, I'm on StreamYard. So one ad is getting a CPM of $1 and 1.5 the next, and a CPP of 4, and the next it's 12. Is it an ad delivery issue? No, you're looking at results day by day. Stop looking at results day by day. Start looking at results week by week. Yeah, it's not removing comments. Let's see here. If the landing page views are 50% low, does that affect ad delivery? No, look, you're wildly micromanaging stuff, so don't worry about it. I'm trying to. It says membership pending. Okay, Noah, let's go see. Let's go see, Noah. We're gonna keep it 100, Noah. Okay, I'm gonna approve you right now, and then you're gonna jump into premium. All right, I'm gonna approve it, and before this call is over, we're gonna hear a ching sound. Okay, let's do it, Noah. Boom. You are in, member approved. Everyone's waiting for Noah. This is great. What do I mean by micromanaging? What I mean by that is you're making too many moves too fast. You're looking at information that's too small. Boom, Noah, dude. Noah, send me a Loom up to 5 minutes of your ad account, and I'll give you a quick review. You kept it 100, bro. Look at that. There we go. Fantastic. I love it. Okay, everybody. You're the man. No, Noah, you're the man. We were sitting here waiting for it, and there we go. I think the cash register is a way to end. Noah, fantastic work, man. All right. I will see you all later. Take care. My parents are in town. So we're going to have fun. They get to meet the baby. So all that being said, everybody, take care. Know that I love you. And stay tuned to the channel. I will let you know, we already have the video in queue. So content coming out. We're going to be reviewing this video from Jared. If you guys haven't seen this video, we're going to be reviewing that video. That'll probably go live tomorrow. And then we have a Jeremy Haynes video coming in. And then I have a video on 48 lessons I learned last year in scaling my business. And most importantly, what I learned by turning off all of my ads and tripling my profits. So that when I turn them back on, I'm actually doing way better. Because I spent nearly $200,000 in December. I made a profit, but I made 1/4 of all of my 2025 profits in the month of January this year. And I turned off all of my ads. So I'm going to give you every lesson that I learned. Okay, everybody. With that being said, we are done. Stay tuned. Stick around for more of the disruptor tools. Everybody that signs in, as soon as this tool becomes available, we might raise the price. So get in on the annual plan soon. And this tool is literally going to be just upload your ads. It tells you what to turn off and what you can expect the outcome to be. It's fucking amazing. And I think it's about 95% accurate. Close enough that it's probably better than me if I'm on an off day. And if I'm on an on day, it's a 50-50 shot. That's as best as I can do. All right, everybody. Take care. I'll see you soon.